Louis Pasteur, renowned for his groundbreaking work in microbiology, wasn't always the serious scientist we know him as. In fact, there was a rather comical incident involving him and a dairy mishap that left everyone in stitches, while offering a curdled wisdom. Picture this: 19th century France, a time when Pasteur's revolutionary ideas were starting to gain traction. One fine summer's day, Pasteur was visiting a local dairy farm to observe the milk processing methods. The dairy workers were in awe of his presence, treating him like a celebrity of science. Little did they know, this encounter would lead to an uproarious incident. The farmer proudly introduced Pasteur to their state-of-the-art milk storage room, showing off rows of gleaming stainless steel tanks. Pasteur nodded in approval, feeling like a king in a dairy kingdom. But then, his sharp scientific mind caught a whiff of something not quite right. "Is that cheese?" Pasteur asked, his nostrils twitching. The farmer hesitated but then nodded. "Yes, monsieur. We store some of our cheese in here too." Pasteur's eyebrows furrowed. He knew that cheese storage required specific conditions and temperatures to prevent undesirable microbial growth. Suddenly, Pasteur was on a mission to inspect the cheeses and see if his suspicions were true. As he approached one of the cheese wheels, he noticed a distinct aroma. It wasn't the usual scent of cheese aging gracefully, it was more like cheese gone rogue. Pasteur's scientific curiosity got the better of him. He picked up a piece, examining it closely. The texture was off, and he could practically hear the bacteria giggling. "Mon Dieu!" he exclaimed, realizing that the cheeses were, indeed, infested with harmful microbes. Pasteur turned to the dairy workers, who had been observing his investigation with growing anxiety. "Gentlemen," he proclaimed dramatically, "we have a microbial invasion on our hands." The workers exchanged baffled glances. One of them muttered, "Microbial, what?" Pasteur's scientific fervor was not to be dampened by the confusion around him. He decided to take action immediately. "Fear not, for I shall rescue your cheeses from this perilous predicament," he declared. And so, Pasteur began his cheese-saving experiment. He ordered the cheeses to be soaked in boiling water, which led to a series of unfortunate events. As the cheeses hit the hot water, they started expanding rapidly, growing in size like bread dough in an oven. The dairy workers stared in disbelief as their cheeses transformed into gigantic, cheesy monstrosities. Pasteur scratched his head, attempting to mask his bemusement with an air of scientific contemplation. "Ah, yes," he muttered, "I seem to have underestimated the power of microbial influence in this cheese-making endeavor." The scene became even more ludicrous when the cheeses, now oversized and unwieldy, began rolling around the storage room, bumping into each other like playful puppies. Pasteur and the dairy workers had to chase after the runaway cheeses, attempting to corral them back into place. As chaos reigned in the dairy room, Pasteur's seriousness began to waver. His determined facade cracked, and soon he was laughing alongside the dairy workers. The once proud scientist found himself in a room full of giggles and rolling cheeses, an unexpected levity amidst the chaos. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of cheese wrangling, the situation was brought under control. The cheeses were safely removed, the rogue microbes defeated, and the dairy room was left in a state of amusing disarray. The incident, although initially embarrassing, became a cherished memory for those involved. It reminded them that even the most brilliant minds can stumble upon unexpected challenges, and that sometimes, embracing the absurdity of a situation can lead to shared laughter and a renewed sense of camaraderie. Louis Pasteur's cheese mishap was a reminder that even in the world of science, where precision and method rule, there's room for a good-natured laugh. The curdled wisdom he left behind wasn't just about the science of microbes, but also about the science of laughter, a lesson that even the most serious of endeavors can benefit from a generous sprinkle of humor.
Thank you for listening. For more stories like this, please consider subscribing.